Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We're going to be breaking down the MLB opening day slate on DraftKings, but before we continue, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, I do NASCAR videos every weekend, and we've been having a really good year, so I'd recommend checking those out as well. Even if you don't know anything about NASCAR, I kind of teach you how to play it, not just give out picks, so I'd recommend checking them out on Fridays and Saturday. So anyway, let's get back into the MLB opening day slate. I was thinking about just doing a cheat sheet, and then after we go over the cheat sheet really quick, we can go into the numbers and look at all the games, just for like the batting numbers and the pitching stats for each matchup and stuff. So this is my first time doing this, so we can just see how it goes. You can let me know in the comments what you want to see or what you don't want to see. Anyway, let's get into this. Pitcher, I think the number one play is Justin Verlander. He's at 11,000. I like him over Kluber for sure. It's a good ballpark for him. The race, I have a 25% strikeout rate versus righties. He's got a good W upside, even though Snell's on the opposite side. But I do like the Astros, that they're all right-handed mostly, going against the lefty. So I think it's going to give him a good W upside. And it's just a weak overall lineup from the Rays. Nothing really scares me at all. Maybe Tommy Pham, but nothing special. And Jose Barrios at 9,000. He does struggle with lefties, but Lindor, Kip, and Ramirez are all out, so it's kind of an abysmal lineup. I do like some of the Indians lefties, though, which I have listed below, but I think he's got good W upside. Kluber seems to struggle early in the year, and I can see the Twins lineup getting to him just a little bit, and there's just nothing scary about the Indians lineup right now. And then Eric Lauer at 5,600, it's a good salary relief pitcher. He's going to allow us to get some of those big bats in, like the Cubs and Mike Trout. Again, he's just cheap. Giants offense is weak versus lefties, and he's going to allow us to get the top bats in. I really like him, 5,600. I feel pretty comfortable with him. He's not a terrible pitcher. I mean, he's not the best, but I think he can get us anywhere from like 12, 16 points, which is just fine. Anyway, catcher, I hate the catcher position. It sucks. I do like Contreras, though, at 4,400. I just love all the Cubs righties versus matchup against the lefty minor, especially in Texas. They do have the highest, not the highest, but one of the best implied Vegas totals and just good conditions for them all around. And then Buster Posey, he is the one guy I'd be worried about against versus Eric Lauer, because nice righty versus lefty matchup, but he's not what he used to be, but he's the one guy I think could give him a little bit of trouble. And at first base, my favorite's Justin Bour at 3,600. He gets a nice matchup versus Mike Fiers. He's just gonna throw fastballs. He's gonna get a lot of balls to hit. And Mike Fiers is not very good. He doesn't throw a fast fastball, and I think Justin Bour can barrel it up and possibly take him deep. And then Carlos Santana, 3,800. This is one of the guys I like versus Barrios. He's a guy who knows how to get on base, so it's good for cash games, and he just matches up really well with Barrios types of pitches. And then Yonder Alonso at 4,100. I'm not a huge fan of the price. He's more expensive than Bowers, Bour, and Santana, but I do like the home run upside versus the righty Keller. He can just mash right-handed pitching, so I don't have a problem going there. Then at second base, we have Ben Zobrist. I'm not sure if he's leading off. Last time I looked, he was leading off, but it could be Almara. But if Zobrist is leading off, I really do like that, because the Cubs, I think they're going to score a lot of runs. And then Whit Merrifield, 4,500. I really like this guy. He's got good stolen base upside. He makes good contact. He doesn't strike out much, so I don't see what's not to like, especially against Carlos Rodon. Then Ian Kinsler, he's really cheap. He's 3,200, and he's going off against a lefty. Get the nice righty versus lefty matchup, and Mad Bum isn't as good as he used to be, so I don't mind using that, especially how cheap he is. And at third base, Chris Bryant's going to be the chalk option at 5,400. He just crushes he crushes lefties, and as I said, Mike Minor is not very good. Cubs high Vegas total, good hitting conditions, just nothing not to like there. And Yohan Moncada, 4,500. He's much better hitting from the left side, and that's what he's going to get against a bad righty in Keller. His K rate does make him risky, though, so I don't like him for cash, but I wouldn't mind throwing him in GPP just because he's not a high contact guy. So, and then Asdrubal Cabrera, he's a middle of the order kind of guy, but he's decent versus lefty. He can make he's a high contact guy. He's probably going to be hitting anywhere from 5th, maybe 6th, so he's getting a little low, but I don't mind him if you need the savings, because I do like those Rangers. And speaking of Rangers, at shortstop, we have Andrews at 3,300. I love the price, and he gets the nice righty versus lefty matchup against Lester. I don't think Lester is very good. He got a little lucky last year. So I'm a fan of Andrews at 3,300. And then Javier Baez, that's the spend up. He's another strong righty versus Minor. And I mean, we saw what Baez did last year. He can crush the ball. So then Mondesi, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Let me know. But he's 4,500. I like his stolen base upside, kind of like Whit Merrifield. The price makes him tough to pay for me. I'd rather get up to Baez if I'm spending that up, but I don't mind him either. And then big money outfield, Mike Trout's the obvious number one. I really want to get him in all my lineups. He's 5,600. He's my favorite play by far. Trout hits righties better than he actually hits lefties, and he's going to get a ton of pitches to hit versus Mike Fiers. Trout absolutely crushes fastballs. He's over 300 ISO. And Fiers is going to give him a pitch to hit, so I would say he's my number one home run call. I know that's nothing bold or anything, but I love Mike Trout. And he just got paid big money, so never know, maybe shows it up with a nice home run at his first at-bat. And then Charlie Blackmon, the Rockies usually go under-owned when they're not in Coors, which they're going to be in Miami, which is an ideal park. But Blackmon lines up really well with Urena here. The matchup, yeah, I said as well with his pitches. And yeah, we already went over that. And then Chris Davis, he's at 4,900. I'm never a fan of picking on Cahill because I actually kind of like the guy. I played him a lot last year, but I cannot ignore his power versus righties. He is over a 300 ISO, so he's kind of like Trout, just absolutely mashes right-handed pitching. And we know Chris Davis can just absolutely smash the ball. And then middle outfield, Whit Merrifield, we already went over. He just qualifies as outfield too, so that should actually up his ownership because he qualifies at 2 positions. Corey Dickerson, I love Corey Dickerson. He's only 3,800. Love that price, and he's going to be in Great American Ballpark. And I remember last year, he was in Great American Ballpark, and he just absolutely went off that weekend. It was awesome. So we have some good park history there, and it's actually going to be good hitting conditions. It's going to be in the mid-60s, wind blowing out. So I like that. And I know Castillo does actually struggle versus lefties. I kind of like Castillo. He's a pretty good pitcher. I think he's got some good talent, but does struggle versus lefties. And I really like Corey Dickerson, especially at that price. Then Bowers, another Indian I like. He actually qualifies at first base too, but I threw him down here in the outfield. He's at 3,700. We said Barrios struggles with lefties, and Bowers is a guy at a fair price, and I like to pick on him. He matches up well with Barrios' pitches too. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you took him deep. And then in the value outfield, we have Cole Calhoun, 3,700. He's going to be leading off, and he gets the lefty versus righty matchup against Fiers. And then Jesse Winker, I like him too. I like that Reds Pirates game. I think that could be kind of sneaky. 3,300, should be leading off. Great value, and Tyon can be hit by lefties. And Hunter Renfroe, 3,600. I said Mad Bum isn't the same kind of guy he used to be. Renfroe absolutely crushes left-handed pitching, so I have no problem going there as well. He's going to be hitting lower in the order, though. And then I just put together an example lineup just based off of that. We have Verlander, Lauer, just to get the big bats in. Contreras, Santana, Zobrist is if he's leading off. Chris Bryant, Andrews, Trout, Dickerson, and Winker, and that's 50,000. And my top stacks are the Cubs, the Angels, the Padres righties, the Rangers, and the Athletics. So anyway, let's go into plate IQ here. We can just look at all the games, kind of get an idea. So here's Verlander versus the Tampa Bay Rays. As you can see, there's just nothing to fear from this lineup. I know Choi has some power, but he's not a high contact guy. He's going to strike out a lot. They've got a 25% strikeout rate. And it's just Justin Verlander. And then I don't like Blake Snell because the Astros can hit right-handed pitching. As you can see, they're not going to strike out a lot at all. And they only have Correa, and obviously Chirino strikes out a lot. But really, Correa is the only one that strikes out above 20%. So I really don't like Blake Snell. Then we'll go to the... Let's go to the Chicago-Texas game. Just show you some of the Chicago hitters versus lefties. As you can see, Chris Bryant's got a 349 ISO versus lefties. Absolutely crushes. Baez a 271 ISO. Contreras at 200 ISO. Obviously, Zobrist doesn't have a lot of power, but I just like him if he's leading off. And we'll go down here. So if you never used Plate IQ, I really like it. You can get all the splits, lefty versus righty. And as you can see, Mike Minor throws the fastball 47% of the time. It's his main pitch. And Chris Bryant, as you can see, he's got a 350 ISO versus fastballs from left-handed pitching. Absolutely crushes them. Anthony Rizzo, surprisingly lefty on lefty, actually has a 306 ISO. Javier Baez a 275, Contreras a 277, and I love these Cubs righties. I think they can do some real damage here. So just don't want to look over everything, just some of the spots I like. LA and Oakland do like hitters from this game, and they are going against a righty. So as you can see, Mike Trout actually has better numbers versus righties than lefties. I'll change that again so you can see. Much better numbers versus righties, and Mike Fiers is a bad righty. Does not throw a fast fastball. Show you these numbers. Throws the fastball 40% of the time, and if you see Trout has a 328 ISO versus right-handed fastballs, should absolutely just smash him. I would not be surprised if he homers on his first at bat. And then Calhoun's not a big power guy, but I don't mind him. As you can see, Justin Bour, obviously much better splits against righties. He's a 225 ISO, and just obviously better numbers all around versus righties. Then if we look at Chris Davis, guy I really like. Again, he smashes right-handed pitching, 315 ISO. Trevor Cahill throws the sinker actually the most, so we're going to go to the sinker here. And as you can, absolutely monster numbers for Chris Davis versus righties. He's got a 311 ISO versus the sinker, and it's his main pitch. And then if you look at the changeup, secondary pitch, Chris Davis smashes those as well. So I really like Chris Davis. And as you can see, the Athletics just hit righties actually well right here. Chapman, Piscotty, Davis, Profile. So I usually like using Cahill, but I'm not a fan of him. I think the Athletics can get to him. Then Cleveland, Minnesota. Let's see. Look at Cleveland. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Barrios throws the fastball the most. And if we're going to look at that, Jake Bauers really matches up really well with that. He's got a 296 ISO versus right-handed fastballs. And the knuckle curve, where's that at? Yeah, Santana's got a 210 ISO. I do like Santana a lot. Knows how to get on base. And then the sinker, yeah, that's where Santana's the best actually. 296 ISO. So if Santana can get a sinker, I think he can. I think he's a really good play. I think he's gonna go under owned. Really don't mind him because I know a lot of people are gonna be on Barrios. So I think Santana's a nice low owned play. What else? Nothing I really like in this game. Kind of just, I'm not gonna play Rio and I'm not gonna play Greinke. I think Jock Peterson's sneaky though because he can crush right-handed pitching. He's got a 294 ISO. Greinke's main pitch is the fastball. We're going to look at that. Jock Peterson has a 334 ISO versus right-handed fastballs. I think Peterson could be sneaky. I mean, a lot of these guys, some good numbers versus... Yeah, not really on Greinke. I know he's been losing speed on his pitches, too. No one like on Arizona. Their offense is not very good at all. So let's look at Lauer. As I said, this offense just doesn't scare me. There's just nothing. They have no power at all. Tagar, Panic, Posey, Belt. I mean, Belt's got an abysmal ISO versus left-handed pitching, lefty on lefty. Really, the only guy here is like Longoria, Posey, maybe. But this lineup's just trash. They don't strike out a ton, but just get some outs, especially at 5,600. I really like Lauer. Just nothing that really scares me here. And I did say I like the Padres righties, as a stack. I think they match up very well versus Bumgarner. I mean, obviously Machado. Kinsler's fine. And Reyes, Renfroe. Said these guys all got power versus lefties. So definitely not a fan of using Mad Bum for sure. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Yeah, I like Winker. He's good all around. I mean, he's not a powerful guy, but good numbers all around versus righties. And he's gonna be leading off. And then Votto, obviously. I mean, he's not a power guy anymore, but Votto is what he is. Then we got Schebler. But I really do like Winker. And then the Pirates lefties, I think that's a sneaky stack too. I might want to add that to my. Well, I guess I don't have many lefties, but Adam Frazier, Corey Dickerson. I mean, Adam Frazier, he's actually a pretty good play. I would add him into the value outfield. I know he's pretty cheap. So yeah, I really like Corey Dickerson though, and Adam Frazier. Take a look down here. Let's see. Yeah. So as you can see, Corey Dickerson just has much better numbers versus righties. 262 ISO versus a right-handed fastball. I really like Corey Dickerson. I'd not be surprised if he homered. Colorado. Yeah. I mean, Blackman's just an excellent play. I think he's going to go lower owned. I know I'm not really a fan of using guys in that Miami park, but Blackman matches up really well against Urena. Let's see. Yeah, his main pitch is the sinker. So we're going to check out Blackman against the sinker. And as you can see, versus the righties, he smashes it. 270 ISO. And obviously, he's worse against lefties because he's lefty. But, man, the righties, he can just... I think it's a really good play. 5,200. He's going to be way lower on than Trout. So if you want to go that direction, I would not mind that. And no one on Miami I would like. And then the White Sox and the Royals. Last game we'll look at. Yeah. So as you see, Moncada, he's got definitely more power against righties than lefties. As you can see, he's absolutely terrible versus lefties, really. Absolutely terrible. So if you're going to play him, it's going to be against a righty. He's got much better numbers. The strikeout rate's super high, though, so that's the risky thing, like I was saying earlier. But Yonder Alonso, I mean, he was on the Indians last year, so I watched a lot of him, and he was very good versus righties. Always a home run threat. Let's see. Fastball versus righty. So yeah, Alonso's looking like a good play. Abreu as well. I haven't really looked at him, but Abreu's looking decent. Keller's just not a good pitcher, so I wouldn't be surprised if the White Sox put up some runs. And then if we look at the Royals, definitely like Merrifield. Check out his splits versus the lefties. He's much better versus lefties. Seen a lot of green there. The ISO's getting close to 200. He has a low strikeout rate. I know he has a high contact rate. Yeah, 82%. So definitely a good play. And Mondesi, 233 ISO versus lefties. So as I said, I really like this guy. He's got speed too. Merrifield and Mondesi could steal some bags. So definitely like that mini stack there. If you went them 1-2, wouldn't have a problem with that. And yeah, if you just look at these numbers, Merrifield versus the lefties, 228 ISO. This is the fastball. This is his main pitch. So just showing you the main pitch. 400 WOBA. Just all around good numbers. Definitely like with Merrifield, Mondesi. And that looks like it's it. 9 games. Okay. Alright guys, that's all I have for the video. This is my first time doing it, so just let me know what you think or what you want to see or what you want me to talk about, really. I have no idea what you guys want to know. I've been just doing NASCAR videos, but I've been playing baseball for years, so I do know what I'm doing, so. But I don't know what you guys want to see, so just let me know in the comments below. If you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that, and good luck.